Welcome, everyone. Don't worry, the new intro is going to be there soon. I just need time to work on it. So, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, what we're going to do is a little different here. This is going to be a live review and Q&A from my panelist members who's going to ask some questions of me of the movie. Now, this is a non-spoiler. I don't want to spoil it for anyone because you know what? Just for the start, I think everyone should see this movie. This movie surpassed my expectations and is up there with the highest of Marvel movies, especially with the third in Marvel movies. Surpassed maybe only by Captain America, the third movie, Civil War, and Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok may be a slightly higher, and it even surpasses the first two movies in certain categories with action, epic story, and villains, but maybe falls a little bit short with humor and is not as much as a bright spot as the first one. You know, the first one had amazing humor and put the team together in such a way that was like lightning in a bottle, and I do not think it could be recaptured. The special effects were amazing, the soundtrack, the sound design, and the story was on another level that also surpassed the first two, especially with the standouts. Without spoilers, yes, this is a great Rocket movie. Great Rocket movie. And I think he's better than the second of how the stories, the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie is kind of intertwined with Star-Lord, Peter Quill's story in the villain there. I think this is a far superior story. And I would say, don't be concerned about it leaving you wanting more. I think I got everything I want, surpassed my expectations, and did not want me leaving more while still looking for the future for the Guardians of the Galaxy without any spoilers of what that means. So if you guys are ready for some questions there, I'm gonna also give it a score out of 10. And I want to give it a 10 out of 10, but I'd have to say with the small issues, I would give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. With the humor not landing every single beat. And maybe the introduction to Adam Warlock, where Guardians fans, especially Marvel Comics fans, have been looking forward to for quite some time. Without getting into spoilers, there's some amazing sequences with Adam Warlock, and I think Adam's going to be important to the future of the galaxy in MCU. But if you're really in tune with this character and how significant he was in the comics, because I know a little bit about Adam, this could be also a letdown of how he's in the story. I don't think he's necessarily integral to the story. I think he could have been there or not, even though I'm happy he's here and I'm happy he's going to be in the future, but he's not. But it does have one of the best action sequences with him. And yes, best action of all three. Best action and villain of all three. So, Brian, Brucifer Voltaire, what do you think of my initial live review and my score, 9 out of 10? And if you have any questions that I could answer without spoiling.
Very exciting review.
Yes, in special effects, for the most part, some of the best Marvel's produced.
Really?
There's a few issues here and there that also makes me have to give it a 9 out of 10 because there's some weird. I have a not love hate. I mostly love relationship with James Gunn, but he will go for certain things just for the humor where it's like a little odd. Like there was a few special effects here and there. They're like, that went for the joke. But most of it is amazing. IMAX scenes were amazing. And also my favorite soundtrack. My favorite soundtrack of the three because I knew most of the tunes here. We're getting to like the 1990s and 2000 era of the music.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good music. I knew like almost all the songs. But wait, go ahead, Voltaire. What were you going to
Okay. Yeah, I have a couple of questions. The criticisms of animal cruelty. You're an animal lover, and were
say?
they overblown, or what do you think?
The scenes with the animal cruelty are intense to watch, but it actually would probably help organizations like PETA because it really makes you they're shot in a way and directed in a way that makes you empathize with animals so much that you might want to become an activist. And it's not like it's from the animal's point of view and how horrendous it could be for all animal cruelty and experimentation on animals, and it really makes you want to. Yes, animal lovers, this is a hard watch, but it's from that perspective of how bad it is and how we need to treat all living beings with respect. So they're not experiments. So yes, I actually think that people that have a lot of concerns with animal cruelty or activists might actually really think this is a good movie for their cause and make people think about what happened. So I actually think it's very good in that angle. But at the same point, with that said, Voltaire, that's one other downside. If the other two Guardians movies were accessible for younger viewers, I would give a disclaimer that you might want to check this one out by yourself before you bring your kids, because it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. So I don't necessarily think this is a giant kids movie, not a giant MCU kids movie. Like some of the other movies you could get away with that. Not this one, I don't think. Okay.
So, so you're saying the tone of the movie is a lot darker than usual Marvel movies?
It's yes. It's a little darker, but also and it's extremely emotional without getting the spoilers too. But I think it ends up I think everyone's going to be happy where it ends up. And actually surprised where it ends up at the end without getting the spoilers. There are 2 end credit sequences. Stay till the end. The last end credit sequence was not really, amazing, but where it ends, I was like, really? I did not expect that at all at the very end. So yes.
There's a question from the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel Adam Warlock is his test run for Superman?
I definitely could see that some of the scenes with Adam Warlock are very Superman-esque. In that the action sequences with Adam Warlock, you could definitely see that, especially knowing in the theater I was like, yes, this feels like Superman, of what the way he's filming the action with Adam Warlock, the way he's flying, the way he's using his powers. I do hope, though, that his version of Superman Legacy, does not take some characteristics of Adam Warlock, because even though I like this character, I do feel that some hardcore comics fans are going to have issues with Adam Warlock, especially since he's a little bit Draxified. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of like dumbed down for humor, and that might rub a little people the wrong way.
Really, Adam Warlock for humor? Wow.
I mean, because
that's really interesting.
Just to give a little bit of a, this is not really a spoiler, but at the beginning of the film, when Adam Warlock first is introduced, they say that he is born early, or taken out early. So he's very childlike, almost to like the same type of humor, the Drax that doesn't really understand everything that's going on. And it's very much in that line of humor. Okay, I'll bring CJH on here, but we're staying on topic, bro, because this is a review live Q&A we're in the Q&A part.
Spoilers?
No, non-spoilers, but we're staying it because I'm going to clip this out. So if you have any questions for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 without spoilers, I'll try to answer them. But yes, I do foresee that there's going to be some people that are hardcore Marvel fans that may have issues with Adam Warlock, even though I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because I saw what Gunn was going for, that Tony was going for. But if this is a copy and paste of what he'll do for Clark, I don't want to see overly jokey Clark, like a younger Clark, making mistakes and being a little bit dumb about everything, trying to figure out his way. I want a little more serious tone for Clark, not like overly serious, because we got to be honest, we just got Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League. So I want to see a different tone, but not like this. No, I think if he did Clark and Superman exactly like Adam Warlock, even though there's some similarities, I think it would be a mistake. So I don't think he'll do that, though. I don't think he'll do that. Just the way he films the action, the flight sequences, and the action. And yes, even though there might be a downside to Adam Warlock, if you're a big fan, the action sequence that he's in at the beginning of the film is some really great action, really intense. One of the Guardians' best, one of the two Guardians' best action sequences in all three films are in this movie. And definitely the best villain. Best villain of the series. Definitely. Okay.
Did you cry?
I was very emotional at parts. And I don't want to say too much about it, but I didn't. Tears did not come down my face. No. But I was very emotional. I was in the story. My wife was on the verge of really, I think she was tearing up.
Oh wow.
And I will tell you, I will tell you where she was tearing up was actually the scenes with Rocket's backstory and the animal stuff, because she loves animals. So yes, it's very emotional, very emotional. Diao, we're doing a live review and Q&A. I already gave my review, 9 out of 10 for Guardians. So we're in the question and answer part. And I don't know if you saw it already. It's very possible you saw it already. So if you have any questions for me, or if we're in the Q&A part of the review. Okay. Anyone else have a question for me? What's that, DL?
Were you just talking to everyone or talking to me?
No, talking to you because you just popped in. So I'm going to clip this out.
Okay.
This is my review. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It surpassed my expectations. I have some slight things that made me go down 1, but I think this is the best of the best of Marvel, especially with third films in a character's franchise. And it didn't leave me wanting more. It left me in a perfect place for the future of both James Gunn and where the Guardians franchise could continue. I'm very happy with it. Did you get a chance to see it yourself yet, Dial? Because I know you like to frequent the theaters.
I am. I actually just got back from watching it.
Okay. So do you have any questions for me? And maybe we'll get your score too, without spoilers. Do you have any questions for me, like as someone else that's seen it?
So how does this compare to the other Guardians movies for you?
It surpasses the first two in every way except the humor and the magic of putting the Guardians team together. That was like lightning in a bottle for the first one. I think it's got the best action, the best story, the best villain for sure, really good special effects.
What about the soundtrack?
Oh, my favorite soundtrack, because I knew most of the music. And it's a lot of my favorite music. It had Flaming Lips. It had Space Hog. It had Radiohead. Some other ones I'm forgetting. Some of my favorite songs from all those bands too. Mm-hmm. Like one of my favorite songs of all time is Flaming Lips. Do You Realize? And hearing that, and in a big IMAX, and when the ratio changes to IMAX and they're in space and floating, it was beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh yeah, it was very.
Oh, one other slight downside.
Oh.
One other slight downside, but I'm okay with it. But yes, Harcourt or his wife makes an appearance.
God.
Max.
Yes.
You giving that a negative? Are you serious?
No, but not because I disliked it.
You
I'm just,
spoiled it.
I swear to God, dude. If
Yeah.
that's like your complaint,
No, it's not.
I'm gonna just
No.
stop.
No, listen, bro. I say it's still fine. I'm just like it's very
And Christopher Nolan doesn't cast the same people in his movies all the time.
I know that, Mo. I know that, Brian. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I'm just saying it's not like she was disguised enough in her character to take me out that this is, yes. So, but there's also.
Did you have to spoil that for everyone?
I apologize.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I apologize. Please forgive me on that one. Yes.
If you guys are mad about that, like really get a life. It does not have to do with anything with the story. It does not impact anything.
Yeah, it's not like a big. It's not like a big rule. No.
Okay,
And I still hold to say that like the worst.
It just took me out a little bit because it's like I didn't get enough of like a unique character to make me think this isn't the same. You know what I mean?
I guess because like she's such a minor character. She just
Yeah.
helps to get the plot along.
Yeah. I do apologize though. I do apologize. Yeah, I try to do not do spoilers, but I guess that is a slight one, and my apologies.
No, it is not. No, it is not. You are fine. You are fine.
Yeah, you didn't
I wouldn't
reveal a big
consider it
cameo.
spoiler. I mean,
It can be for
Imagine
some.
she'd
It
be
can
in
be
it.
for. But I'm not mad that she's in it. It's just like it took me out a little bit, just because she's so recognizable. She's very striking and beautiful person, so she's very noticeable in there. Where the slight character she's playing is just like okay, it didn't see, you know what I mean. But there's the usual gun crew that you get in there, including someone's, who popped out. Oh, CGH may have. Okay.
What Radiohead song was in it?
Creep.
oh,
Uh,
the only song that ever.
No, but it was a different version of Creep,
Oh.
and the way it was used was very interesting. Yeah,
Alright.
the way it was done. I don't want to spoil what scenes it was with, but it was very well done. Yes.
did Stallone have any sort of meaningful role in this?
Isn't that a spoiler? But I would say here's what I would say. Don't I also want Stallone to have a really integral role, but don't put too much expectations on that too. I think it's fine. But yeah,
This question from the chat: how does it rank among the 6 gun films for you?
Okay, so let me think of the gun films. Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Now I'm thinking because I've recently become a fan of the Suicide Squad, and this
It's definitely the top 3. It's in the top
now I'm
3.
trying to it's definitely the top 3. I'm just trying to think of what I would put. I definitely Guardians of the Galaxy 1 just because it was like again magic in a bottle putting that group together. I remember them forming. It was so much fun.
Mhm.
But the Suicide Squad and this one, I think this one goes ahead of the Suicide Squad slightly. This is number 2 on the list. Number 3 would be the Suicide Squad. Number 4 would be Guardians 2. What other 2 did he do that I would have seen?
Slither.
Brightburn.
Well, I didn't see Slither, and I know
He didn't direct Brightburn.
and he didn't direct Brightburn. But I would put ahead. I would put then if you're going to consider Brightburn, I put that at 5 and Slither at 6 because I didn't see Slither at all.
Did you see Super?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see his movie Super?
Oh, I hated Super.
What?
Yeah, I didn't
I
like
hated
Super.
it too. It was
I
No,
love
but I have to rewatch it because it's been a while. But I did the tone and the dark humor was just like too dark for me. That was his early film when he was still very Troma-esque.
It is very dark.
Yeah, so I would
Since you
give
said
that one
Brightburn-
I would give that one another shot. But
Since you said Brightburn,
but
something
I
that
would
he
say
produced,
this is in his top two movies, only surpassed by the first Guardians. But again, better villain and better action. Better villain, better action. I think also I would add that I believe all the characters got a. If you thought any of the characters in the previous films or the Infinity War saga got underserved, I think they all had some great storylines in here.
Senior nerd, calm down, please.
Yeah. All right. So, any other questions before we wrap up that? We could still talk about it later, but
Well, can we know DL's rating out of 10?
DL, what is your initial review and reaction without spoilers right out of the theater today? We would love to hear yours too, DL.
Man, okay, so I'm gonna see it again in a couple of days. So like, there probably might be some bias right now because I just saw it. But right now my grade, I give it an A. I love this movie. I thought it was great. I was getting really worried because of how rocky the Marvel films have been as of late, and Quantumania really disappointed me. So I was
this surpassed Quantumania like nothing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it ran circles around Quantumania.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this was so great. This may end up being now my favorite trilogy in the MCU.
Ooh.
I love all three.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. I know that's a hot take. I'm here with the hot takes. But just me
It's so
personally,
crazy.
just, as far as the other movies, all of them have disappointed me. Captain America disappointed me. Iron Man disappointed me. Thor disappointed me. Even Ant-Man recently disappointed me because of Quantumania. So I was hoping, and even Black Panther disappointed me. So I was hoping Guardians wouldn't fall in that same pit, and thankfully it didn't. I thought I was very satisfied with the conclusion. I thought everyone did great. I loved all the characters.
And looking forward to where it's going in the future, right? Not to give spoilers, but it sets it off. It leaves it in a good place, I think, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The speculation that people thought were going to happen, it did a good job of subverting expectations. I know that's like a nasty word to say nowadays, but it did subvert expectations in a great way. It was very emotional. There was very heavy scenes. Yeah, it was. This one's probably the darkest of the trilogy, but
yeah, I would say see it before you go and take your children.
If you're an animal lover, then yes.
Well, no, I mean, even like some of the violence and stuff too. Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I gotta say. Y'all are babies. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I was expecting it to be darker than it actually was, because people were saying how messed up it was. Mm-hmm. Yes, there were some dark moments in there, absolutely, but I didn't think it was too much. I think Marvel has softened up people, really, because I was expecting this to be really, really twisted. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
It was.
There were some dark moments.
The villains, and I would say the standouts. What are the standouts of this movie? And then I know you gave it an A, but if you were going to give it out of 10, what would be your score?
9.
9? Not right where I'm at. 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I did have some problems here and there. Without spoiling anything, Adam Warlock could have been better. How it was utilized, but I thought Will Poulter was good, and
he was good.
Yeah. And I don't really blame it on him, or I don't blame it on James Gunn. I think it was
hey, world champ, be nice to Senior Nerd, and Senior Nerd be nice too. We're trying to do a review here. Everyone, I want you all to have a great day though. But I would say the stand-up performances would be a good place to wrap this up.
Standouts. Rocket, obviously. Rocket is the heart and soul of this movie,
and definitely High Evolutionary, the actor. for me.
Yeah, definitely the best villain of the trilogy. I agree.
I don't.
And I even thought Chris Pratt was. I thought Chris Pratt was really good in this as well.
Yes, Chris Pratt. Some of best for what's Karen Gillian's character name?
Nebula.
Nebula's very good in this one. I like Nebula. Her humor's gotten better. Drax had some great stuff. Mantis had some great stuff.
That's the thing. Like I don't dislike any characters in this movie. Like, James
I would say if you're a huge Gamora fan, this is a very good Gamora performance, but she's done better in other stuff, you know.
Yep, and once again, I don't blame it on James Gunn. I think it was the Marvel machine and how things were structured with other films that they had to be stuck with what they had to do with her in this. But they did the best of what they had to work with.
So let me ask you guys something. Does this give you greater hope for the future of the DCEU, the same, or does it increase your positivity towards it after seeing this? Or?
Well, Superman is still going to be a different beast. Like, it's different. But I was shocked at how good the action sequences were in this. If he didn't, as far as I know, he didn't have any help. He directed the action himself too, because sometimes directors get some other directors. So this is a career best for action for me. You know, there was some great stuff in here. And if you get some of the intensity of like the first battle with Adam Warlock, DL, if you get some of that intensity with Superman, but not, you know what I mean? There could be something special. And also I know people have been talking about a certain scene later on was like a nonstop action for like 5, 6, 7 minutes. Really good. You know, I'm very impressed with that's something that in rewatching the Suicide Squad, there's some great action there too. Like if you rewatch it.
Yeah.
This is some like.
There's some of the best action I've seen.
Super being type action that I'm like, oh, okay, Superman type action. You know what I mean?
So yes,
so that's what I was impressed by in this one. That gives me hope for Superman Legacy. Yes,
I agree because this is some of the best action that James Gunn has directed. Without spoiling, there's a action scene in a corridor, one track. It was absolutely glorious, and yeah, as you said, like there's certain stuff with Adam Warlock where it does feel pre-Superman-esque. So I'm like, okay, I see what he's trying to do there. I see what you're doing, but yeah, I was already excited for James Gunn to do Superman, but like now I'm even more excited to see not only what he does with Superman, but what he's going to do with the DC going forward. For people that are saying, oh, he can't do dark and heavy themes. Watch this movie and try to tell me otherwise.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. That's really positive. That's good to hear.
Mm-hmm. So I think this will be the wrap up of the clip out review. Thank you, DL, for helping me with it. Yeah, I think everyone should definitely see this in theaters. Great theater experience. The only other thing I want to ask James Gunn is, please, you do amazing IMAX work. I want a movie in all IMAX. I really do. I really want the industry to go that way because these are spectacle films. And
you know how expensive it is, though?
Huh?
You know how expensive it is to shoot an entire film?
I know, but I would love an all IMAX Superman movie too. You know?
I mean, you never know. You never know. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure they'll try to do it for one of the Avengers movies.